My dear brothers and sisters, a simple woman from a little known village from Nazareth by the name of Mary was raised to the level of becoming God's mother, has an excellent title called Hail Full of Grace, and she is also called as the blessed among women. How did Mary do this? And for all that Mary, a blessed mother, has achieved, I have only one word to say, or one expression: wow. This word wow is an expression when somebody achieves something great in life, we always say, wow, you have done something great. This morning I want to reflect together with you all on this title of Mary, Hail Full of Grace, and because of all that she has done, we have only one thing to say: wow. And I have a reason for it, why I'm saying wow. W-O-W, each of these letters will tell you that how Mary achieved what she achieved in her life. The first W is the Word of God. Mary not only listened to the Word of God, but she carried the Word of God with her in her womb. What the heavens could not contain, Mary contained in her womb. And therefore she built her life on God. Number one. Number two is O for obedience. Why is obedience so much great from the church point of view? Because the first man, Adam, disobeyed God. The first Eve disobeyed God. The second Adam, the greatest Adam, Jesus, obeyed God. Paul's letter to Philippians 2, 8-9, he says, Christ was obedient unto death, therefore God raised him up. Because Jesus was obedient, God raised him up. The second Eve, Mother Mary, was obedient to God, not disobedient like the first Eve. And therefore obedience plays an important part in the life of Mary. And the third W stands for witness. Mary was a witness to God's love to the world. She actually stood at the cross, stood with Jesus when he was dying. A witness is someone who stands by you. Mary stood for Jesus and for his values. And therefore, because of these three things, we say, wow. Word of God, obedience, and witness. We have gathered here as children of our Blessed Mother. And one of the best things that we can do to our mothers is to imitate our mothers. Every father, every mother desires that his or her children should live or imitate the very life that they live. And because Mary lived such a beautiful life, this morning I want to reflect that we as children of Mary, we should reflect her life, imitate her qualities. I want to start with the Word of God. Do we really build our lives on God? Do we really believe that the Word of God is the center of our life? One example that comes to my mind is Nelson Mandela, one of the finest human beings that lived in the last century. Once he went to one of these hotels and there was one man sitting on the right hand side. He entered after he became the president of the African National Congress. He entered in one of the hotels with his bodyguards. And he saw one man sitting there. They all went on left hand side. The man was sitting alone. After some time, Nelson Mandela told his bodyguards, ask that man to come and eat with us. So they went and told that the president would like to come to his table and sit and have a meal with him. So the man came little frightened, little sweaty. He felt he was a little nervous. He came, sat with them. Nelson Mandela smiled at him and said, how about eating with us? And he was very nervous. He ate very fast and left immediately. The bodyguards were a little confused as we are a little surprised. Everybody would like to sit with the president and eat. Here is a man who's so nervous. Why is he so nervous about the president? And Nelson Mandela told them, as soon as I entered the hotel, I saw him. He saw me. I recognized him. He recognized me. This is the same man when they were torturing me in the prison. They would beat me, torture me. And finally when I would cry, water, 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 this is the man who used to come running first to me, not to give water to me, but to urinate on me. He urinated on me. And here's Nelson Mandela, without telling his bodyguard what it is, he followed the Christian values of the Beatitude. Okay? That we need to constantly forgive people. This is a man who really built his life like Mary, on the word of God. The second is obedience in life. As Christians, do we give more importance to offerings and sacrifice and not to obedience? Obedience is something that thrills God more than offerings and sacrifice. This is good. But what really thrills God is obedience. In our daily life, are we people who obey? 1535, Thomas More of England died. Why? Because Henry VIII broke away from the church because of his selfish reasons. And he broke away from the church, not only broke away from Rome, but he also misled the people by saying they need to sign an oath of allegiance to King of England, not to the Pope. And finally, when many people, because of fear, gave in to him and signed the oath of allegiance, one man was a shining example of obedience. He did not sign the oath of allegiance. He went against the king by saying, what you are doing is wrong. And therefore, 1535, Thomas More of England was executed. He died, and before dying he said, I die like a good servant of the king, but first of God. His obedience to God was more powerful than his obedience to the king. Today, Thomas More is a saint of the Catholic Church. 22nd of June, we celebrate his feast. Unlike Henry VIII, has gone in history as a bad king. Obedience pays back. And if we obey God in our daily life, rather obeying anybody else, it will pay in rich dividend. And finally, witness. As a Christian, as a Catholic, or even as people of other faith who have gathered here to honor our Blessed Mother, religion always teaches to do good in life. The term or the name or the expression religion comes from the Latin word religare, meaning to link together. Link people together. Every religion is supposed to link people together. Religare is to link people. Sometimes religion can become a cause of division. In our daily life, do we believe that we are witnesses to the world? One of the powerful witnesses during our time was Rani Maria. Last month I watched this movie, The Face of the Faceless. Amazing movie. If you get a chance, watch. It's a powerful story of a witness of a nun. 25th of February 1995, she was dragged out of the bus and stabbed by a man 54 times on her chest. All because she stood as a witness for the poor and the marginalized. Not only that, she died, but her family forgave this man called Samandar Singh. Samandar Singh is a changed man now because he's not able to conceive the fact. How can the family forgive? Because the family was a powerful witness of Jesus' love to the world. In our daily life, are we living a life of witnesses? We are all chosen by God by the fact of our baptism. We are chosen like Mary. Let's not be frozen in our life. In our daily life, are we people who live and build their life on the Word of God, obedience, and finally, a powerful witness to God's love in the world. When the world says do violence, when the world says do corruption, everybody is doing corruption, people say sometimes. All are doing this, but you are not all. You are someone God saved and brought life in and through the person of Jesus. You can't say everybody does that. You are not everybody. You are somebody whom God redeemed in and through His Son Jesus. This is a life that we need to live. In our daily life, are we people who are witnesses to God's love? Everybody, Catholics, non-Catholic, doesn't matter. You have a chance to be a witness of God's love to the world. Do good to others. That is what we live. Finally, when we die, we have nothing to take. As one of the captions on the tombstone in England, I like this. There is a man who's dead there. There is a caption on the tombstone. Interesting, and with that I end. The tombstone caption says, what I gave, I have. What I kept, I lost. Everything we give to others, our legacy continues. Like Mother Teresa is no more. Gandhi is no more. Nelson Mandela is no more. But there were people who gave, therefore their legacy continues. And everything that we keep to ourselves, we are selfish, hoarding. When we die, we lose everything in life. During our time, there was this famous quotation, where there is a will, there is a way. That quotation is gone now. The new quotation is, where there is a will, there are many relatives. Everybody comes for share of property. We never live our life because we never learn to share and be a witness in the world. Let's honor, let's thank God for the gift of our Blessed Mother. Like when we say, wow, My mother, what have you achieved in life? Such a great thing that you have achieved in life. Therefore we say, wow. At the same time, let us be reminded, let's build our life like Mary on the word of God, obedience, and finally, in our own humble way, let's be witnesses of God's love to others.